Underneath everything you think you are, there's something else watching. It's not the voice in your head. It's the one listening to that voice, quietly observing, quietly remembering. The parts of you you've silenced, the emotions you buried, the things you did or wanted to do that didn't match who you were supposed to be. You didn't erase them. You stored them behind a smile, behind achievements, behind the version of you that everyone seems to like. And maybe even you believe that version is real now. But it's not. It's a performance, a survival tactic. And somewhere deep inside, the part you ignored is still awake, still breathing, still shaping your life from the shadows. It shows up in your triggers, in your fears, in your need to be liked, in your inability to say no, in your patterns you swear you'll break, but don't. It lives in your silence, and it speaks the loudest when you think you finally found peace. Because the shadow you ignore doesn't die, it waits. And while you're pretending to be whole, it's making decisions for you. Quietly, completely. You learned early on what parts of you were welcome and what parts weren't. Maybe your anger got you punished. Maybe your sensitivity made people uncomfortable. Maybe your curiosity was called rebellion. So you trimmed yourself down, polished your edges, and called it maturity. You smiled when you didn't feel like it. You agreed to things that didn't feel right. You became who they needed, not who you were. And over time, that became your default. A person built for survival, not for truth. But the truth never left. It just got quieter, buried beneath responsibilities, hidden under titles and roles, masked by politeness and professionalism. And still, in the silence, in the dark, it waits. Not to hurt you, but to remind you of who you were before the world told you who to be. Because the parts of you you've buried didn't die. They're just waiting for you to stop performing and start listening. The shadow doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows up in who you're jealous of, in the people you judge, in the things that irritate you for no clear reason. It hides in the way you freeze when challenged, in how you lash out when vulnerable, in your need to stay busy, productive, perfect, anything but still. Because stillness is where the truth lives. And the truth? It's inconvenient. It shatters identities. It ruins illusions you spent years building. But it also sets you free. Freedom doesn't come from becoming someone new. It comes from reclaiming the parts of you you disowned. The part that got quiet to keep you safe. The part that got angry when boundaries were crossed. The part that wanted more and was told to settle. The shadow isn't evil. It's exiled. And like anything exiled, all it wants is to come home. If this voice feels familiar, subscribe and let the shadow know you're ready to listen. You can't kill your shadow. You can only meet it. And meeting it doesn't look like a movie moment. There's no dramatic music, no perfect healing arc. It often begins in silence, in sitting with what makes you uncomfortable. The pain, the anger, the loneliness. The part of you that wants to scream, but learn to smile instead. It begins when you stop trying to fix yourself and start asking why you believed you were broken in the first place. The shadow holds the parts of you that felt too much, wanted too much, dreamed too loud. Not because they were wrong, but because the world wasn't ready for them. But maybe now you are. Integration doesn't mean becoming fearless. It means letting fear sit beside you without driving the car. It means giving your anger a voice without letting it burn your life down. Letting your sadness speak without drowning in it. Honoring your truth, even when it's messy, loud, or inconvenient. You don't become whole by cutting parts of yourself off. You become whole by turning toward them. The shadow isn't here to ruin you. It's here to reveal you. Not the version of you that performs. Not the version that's easy to love. But the version that's real. The version that's been buried, but not broken. The version waiting for your permission to return. Maybe that's why life keeps repeating itself. Not because you're cursed, but because you're being invited. Invited to stop running, to stop numbing, to stop wearing the smile that hides the scream. You don't need another mask. You don't need to be more positive. You need to be honest. Honest about what hurts. Honest about what you've buried. Honest about what's been trying to reach you from the dark. Because healing doesn't happen in the light. It begins in the shadow. Now ask yourself, and answer with everything you've got. What part of you have you spent your whole life trying to silence?